You will be followed by Ruben Lozano.
My name is Jill Parkinson. My husband, Dwayne Parkinson, was a detective for the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. A year ago, August 10th, he was hit by a Mercedes SUV driven by Terrence Stout while on vacation and was killed. Your Sheriff, Rod Hoops, and some other members of the Sheriff's Department were there when I was notified by the Irvine Police Department. When they showed up at my house, they were already in possession of preliminary accident information they must have gotten from the Irvine Police Department. They passed this information, later to be found false, to my neighbor. The next day, Deputy Chief Ortiz and a sergeant visited my home. They told me they had just been to visit the woman that hit Dwayne, and she felt terrible and was under a blanket. I found this information odd. Why were they at her house? 2 days later, I read in the San Bernardino Sun that Sergeant Phil Duper had given an interview where he describes accident details. Isn't the sergeant supposed to know better than to give details to the press during an ongoing investigation, especially during an investigation by another department? Dwayne's funeral was the following week, and after that, the only contact I had with the department was to pick up his belongings and a phone call from Chaplain Bob May in late October. So please keep in mind when you listen to the following that until that call, I was not visited or called by anyone in the Sheriff's Department for 2.5 months. Nobody contacted me to inquire how we were or to console us in any way. In March, Detective Cherney of the Irvine Police Department found Terrence Stout at fault for 2 vehicle code violations and recommended charges of misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter, and the police report became available. Imagine my shock and disgust when I read that Terrence Stout states in the police report that your Sheriff, Rod Hoops, took her to lunch during the investigation and was very kind and told her accident details, some of which he heard from me in my home the night Dwayne died. This is from the head of a law enforcement agency who certainly should have known and been trained better. I want to know, and you should want to know too, isn't it illegal for an elected sheriff of a law enforcement agency to give accident details that he got from an investigating agency to the woman being investigated, which she then gives back to the investigating detective? Isn't this conspiracy to obstruct justice? Isn't that a crime? Why did he take her to lunch? Did the county and therefore taxpayers pay for the lunch? I heard from someone in the department that other members of the department also visited and called her. Why would they contact her? Was the sheriff or any of the other visitors on duty and therefore on county time? Why did this woman, under investigation for a fatal accident resulting in the death of one of their own, get more consolation from the sheriff and the coworkers than his own family? Why did Sheriff Hoops give her information that would help her explain herself during the ongoing police investigation? If Dwayne had been killed on duty, would the sheriff and other deputies be at the jail having lunch with the person under investigation? Would they be sharing details of the investigation with that person at lunch in jail? I think most people would find that outrageous and suspicious. How is this different? This is unethical.
No. Please come back and finish your statement. And I will tell you right now, just slow down a little bit. You don't need to go right into the microphone because it's hard to hear you when your mouth is so close to it. You can stand from it and just slow down a little bit.
I don't do this that often.
I know.
Oh, here we go.
I know it's hard. I know.
You want me to finish or not?
Yes. No, I want you to finish.
All right. If Dwayne had been killed on duty, would the sheriff and other deputies be at the jail having lunch with the person under investigation? Would they be sharing the details of the investigation with that person at lunch in jail? I think most people would find that outrageous and suspicious. How is that different? This is unethical at the least and possibly criminal. I think you should investigate this. It's an embarrassment to your county. It's a betrayal of a man that gave your county his best effort for 15 years. He deserved better, and so do the citizens of San Bernardino County. If your sheriff and his department can betray their own, what else do they try to get away with? This should never happen again.
Thank you so very much. Next speaker. Oh, Mr. Ruben Lozano. Be followed by Mr. E.T. Snell.
Hello, my name is Ruben Lozano. I am Jill Parkinson's brother-in-law. My wife, Ann, is Jill's sister. So if you have a document, I believe, that I submitted when I came in earlier, I I'm here to request on the family's behalf an investigation of what Jill Parkinson just went over with you. We would like an investigation of Sheriff Rod Hoops, Deputy Chief Pete Ortiz, and Sergeant Phil Duper. I'm going to go ahead and read what I submitted to you. The family of Dwayne Parkinson requests an investigation of Sheriff Rod Hoops, Deputy Chief Pete Ortiz, and any other members of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department who interacted with Taryn Stout, members of the Stout family, her parents David and Linda Shepard, or any other family representatives regarding the collision that occurred on August 10th, 2011 that resulted in the death of Detective Dwayne Parkinson. Specifically, the family wants direct answers to the following questions, and criminal charges be brought against anyone who conspired to obstruct justice or that violated any other law through their actions. I'm going to go ahead and read through the questions that we've submitted. The first question is, how did Sheriff Rod Hoops, Deputy Chief Ortiz, and others obtain the name of the driver under investigation? How did Sheriff Rod Hoops, Deputy Chief Ortiz, and others establish contact with Taryn Stout? Were they approached by someone that connected them, or did they initiate contact? This is, I think, a very important question. Jill and the family were not told the name of Taryn Stout for months during the investigation. What information beyond what Taryn Stout detailed in the report did they share with Taryn Stout, her family, attorney, or any other representatives of the family? Why did they share this information? When you take the time to go through the report that Jill submitted, you'll see highlighted words that came out of Taryn Stout's mouth during the investigation under interview to Irvine Police Department that were given to her directly by the sheriff. Did Sheriff Rod Hoops, Deputy Chief Ortiz, or any other members of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department act on Taryn Stout's behalf to influence the investigation beyond what is detailed in the Irvine Police Report? Did Sheriff Rod Hoops, Deputy Chief Ortiz, or any other members of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department contact the Orange County District Attorney's Office in order to influence the decision to not charge Taryn Stout with misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter as recommended 3 times by the Irvine Police Department Detective Jonathan Cherney, an internationally recognized expert on accident reconstruction? We've already spoken with the Chief of Police of Irvine and asked for his cooperation. And Jill and Ann have already addressed the Irvine City Council on this matter. So we appreciate your help.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Lozano.